So now that the bolsters are hardened and tempered, sadly we have to clean them up because I'm actually kind of like how they look. But also I already cut out the scales roughly and flatten them. Mark that will be the inside on one. This will be the inside. So it's from binnenkant, which is Dutch for inside. It was actually quite difficult to explain for some reason, not sure why. So removing the test handle and put on the bolsters again. Already cleaned up the inside, make sure that it's flat. Now we're gonna see how it's gonna look. So that's roughly how I want it. So I'm gonna remove the back bolster so I can use that as a sort of a guide for my lines. Then we will see how it looks. Yeah, that's it. That's gonna be a beautiful handle. So I'm gonna cut this line already. The bandsaw, flatten it out. Well, make sure that it's square. And we're gonna use that to find the line on this side. So yeah, I'm gonna cut that quickly on the bandsaw. Flatten that out. Well, make sure that it's square. So just show it right now. This is the inside. So I'm gonna flatten this out a little bit so you can have a nice crisp 90-degree ear for a perfect bolster fit. That will be there. Not sure if you can see this from this camera, but I got my head camera on also, so hopefully you will see at least some of it. If not, sorry. So now we're gonna see how it fits. Oh, but then I need to put on the other side of the bolster also. It's perfect. So now I have to make sure that I get it. This is the outside, so check one more time before I start grinding. Not sure if you can see this. I left a little bit of space. to make sure that it's the same. This time it's gonna look nice. But first I have to make sure that I bookmark them the right way. Yep. Yes, that's just in case. So I'm gonna take that over to the bandsaw, do the same procedure as on the previous one, and then I will be back for drilling. Put in a pin. So now that we have drawn on the outline, we're gonna cut it out on the bandsaw and then start rough shaping it. Now we're gonna roughly put together and do the rough shape of the knife. Well, not the knife, the handle. So going to do most of the rust shaping on that one, on the old grinder. It's faster. And I haven't used that one a lot since I got the new one. Nothing wrong with the new one, nothing wrong with my old one, I think. So this is gonna be loud, so yeah, you want. You should probably wear ear protection. So now that we have roughly shaped the handle, it's time, well, the outsides. I'm gonna mark what I want the flat part of the knife to stop. So this is what I'm thinking. So the handle is I'm gonna draw it on this side. So this is what I'm gonna do. First off, thin it out that way. Maybe like this. Then I'm not too sure. Depending on how it feels in the hands. I'm gonna see what if I like it or not. Or just round it over, I'm not too sure yet. We'll see how it looks when it's all rounded over first. When I got this flattened out at an angle so it matches the bolster, I can slowly start working my way so it's nice and even. We'll see. I'm gonna start on this side, so put the pins a little bit in so they won't be in the way as much. So yeah, this is a very tricky knife actually. I'm not even sure if I'm good enough to finish it the way I want. So now I'm gonna take it over to the grinder with a new belt. see how it will look. So I'm gonna use a 80 grit. For this one I am gonna use my respirator. But fresh 80 grit is gonna throw off a lot of dust. So now that we have this on both sides, I have to remove a little bit more on this side. I'm gonna do it right now, but first I'm gonna put the pins in a different way so they don't interfere. Usually I would do most of it with a belt grinder and the finish work with the disc, but this came off and all out of glue for it, so it's gonna be mostly on the belt grinder. So after we finished, well, on the machine, it's time to go hand sanding. I'm gonna bring the bolsters up also to 800 grit. Then I'm gonna dome the pins on the bolsters, tape them off, and start more hand sanding on the wooden part. Also, it was already a really nice fit up, but I'm added some black liners, about 0.5 millimeter, no, not even, I'm not sure, a paper, to make well, even more snug fit. It was really hard to get the pins in, but it is worth it. So now I'm gonna bring it to the hand sanding station and start hand sanding. I'm gonna clamp it down like this. Add some spring clamps, hold it in place. Start off with 150 grit on a hard backing, in this case just G10. And start on the bolsters and slowly work my way up to make sure that it will be a seamless fit. That's also the reason for hard backing. See, I'm gonna continue hand sanding for a while. When it's done, I'm gonna to the dome pins, show you. But for this, just me rubbing some sandpaper on the handle. Not even sure if you can see this, but So yeah, I'm gonna continue hand sanding and see you back when it's time to dome the pins. So now that we have hand sanded the handle and the bolster to 800 grit, I'm gonna prepare the handle for gluing them up. However, I'm not just gonna glue it up, because I have to remove those two pins after it's mostly glued up, so I can dome them just the way I did here. And then I can clean it up. So first off, I'm gonna tape off the bolster, remove those pins, and clean the inside all up with acetone, rough it up a little bit maybe, then clean it up. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if it's roughed up already. But first off, while taping up the bolster, I'm gonna remove those pins very carefully. I'm gonna take some rough sandpaper to rough the inside up a little. And I'm gonna clean it all up with acetone. Remove all the grease and excess dust. Taking a Q-tip and go on the inside of the bolsters. And the holes a little bit. I'm gonna prepare the epoxy. No, first off, before I'm gonna prepare the epoxy, I'm gonna prepare the pins a little bit already. Normally I would recommend some kind of Vaseline, but I don't have one. Well, don't have any at the moment. So some lip balm should do. Hopefully it will work. If not, I have a problem. So the pin. Oh, here's a pin. And take another Q-tip, mix it up, mix up the epoxy. First scale. Put in the pins. Clamp it together. Once it's clamped together in half an hour, I'm gonna remove the pins again. Okay, now we have this. I'm gonna take another Q-tip and remove some more epoxy. So now I'm gonna let it dry for half an hour, see you back in half an hour. So now we are 20 minutes to a half hour later. I'm gonna remove the pins again, very carefully. We're gonna recoat them in some grease, do a little bit around the holes, just in case, because we don't want the pin to stick at all at this point. Coat the pins very good thing, well, very good, so it's nice and greasy. Put them back into place. So now we're gonna let them dry overnight, remove the pins again, and start doming, well, shaping, well, furtherly sending the handle to up to 2000, maybe 2500 grids, and buff it, and then we're gonna start on the dome pins. But that will be for tomorrow. We'll let it dry overnight. So I'll see you back in a few minutes, well, for you. So I just finished hand sanding it to 2000 grit. Now we're gonna buff it. For then I'm gonna use a loose, well, a stitch wheel and some white compound. So yeah, let's see what it will do. So now that it's polished, oh man, look at that. Hopefully when I will do the dome pins, I don't destroy it. I'm gonna just notice some scratches in the wood right here from the 2000 grids. I'm gonna remove them also on the buffing. So now I'm gonna take the pins for doming them. So now I have to be very careful putting these pins in. Make sure that I have enough room, because I'm gonna have to grind them before I can start to dome them. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna tape up the handle, but I need to grind. Pushing around the pin, protect as much of the handle as possible, because I am gonna use my grinder to cut them to size. I'm gonna use out a 120 grit to do this. Being very, very careful. So now that we have them the same width sticking out, I have to remove them again, chamfer the edges. So I'm gonna do that right now. So removing the tape again. So now that I have, well, chamfered the pins, I'm gonna find the right size, this big, the right depth I mean, small, and start, well, doming it. For that I'm gonna use this. This is a carbide ball that I made. And what else? Tools. And the smaller one for when I'm get close to the edge. This needs to be round over a little bit more. So let's start with rough work. So we'll keep going around that. Sure if you can see this. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm going around there until it's almost seated to the wood. So now that we have them domed, I'm gonna polish them. Well, first shape them a little bit more. For that we're gonna take some tape and put it on the handle where the pins are. Like that. For all the pins, I'm gonna start just with this one. Taking one of these wheels or the Dremel tool, not really sure what it's called. Put an edge on there. And then I'm gonna use that with my Dremel tool to refine the shape a little bit and clean up the hammer marks. As you can see, most of the hammer blows are marked well or grounded out. And here we have the finished product. It's not perfect, but I'm gonna do the other pins and show you the finished result. So yeah, apparently I wasn't filming, but yeah, I was just finished polished them. You can see they're not perfect, but I'm gonna see how the knife looks like before I'm gonna start on the sheet, or the saya I mean. That will be for another video. So yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already, and talk to you all in the next video. Bye.